Hi, welcome to another episode of Beyond Chronic Disease. My name is Wendy Cole. I'm your host. How are you this week? Last week I did an episode on butter, which does have salt. You choose what's best for you. I know what I choose that's best for me. We compare the nutrition table, the ingredients list, and you choose. I prefer butter, as you would have gathered. This week I'm doing one on salt. So let me just basically break this down. They processed the hell out of salt. Then we basically got thyroid malfunctions because then they realized that the thyroid needs iodine mostly to function properly. So then they put iodine back in salt, hence we have iodized salt. I don't buy into any of that. What I do buy into is more natural foods, whole foods. You will get, if you're eating a variety of them, you will naturally get what your body's required, what your body requires. And I don't buy into the fact that you're not getting the nutrients that you had because our soil's getting depleted by it. What a whole heap of hogwash. Look, even the hogwash is, even if that to be true, if it's true, what? So you're not going to eat the vegetables and the fruit because, the nutrients are not there as much as what they were. So you just rather eat processed food. I mean, I don't get that mentality either. Still eat the more natural products, regardless of, what the soil is. I mean, sure, if it's laced with toxic chemicals, well, then you may need to look at what you're ingesting. But don't buy into that whole argument. It was years ago that our soil's depleted of nutrients, so therefore the food's not as good as it used to be. Well, no food is as good as it used to be, but I still choose whole foods over processed foods, which is what this salt podcast is all about. Salt is in everything. You have a look at anything that you pick up, there will be a degree of salt in it. To what quantity, who knows? You'll be on the nutrition label on the product. All processed food has salt, and that salt, in my opinion, is no good for us. That, along with the processed food itself, the whole thing, is what is making our bodies go into a state of ill health. When you get told to decrease your salt intake, you want to be looking at what you're eating, the processed food that you're eating with salt in it, and getting rid of that whole shit out of your diet. And then celery is probably one of the best vegetables for natural salt intake. Don't be scared to eat it. If you've got salt diseases, like you need to eliminate salt from your diet, don't be too scared to eat celery. It's a natural product. You don't just have the salt from celery. Like some of the processed foods, you just have high doses of salt and sugar and a bit of the rubbishy food, which is all highly processed. There's no nutrition in that whatsoever. Whereas the celery, not only are you getting the salt, but you're getting the water content from it too, and you're also getting the fiber. And there's other minerals that your body's taking in as well. And celery is so good for your bones because it basically is the same composition, similar composition to your bones. So you want to, eat as much celery as your body can digest for your well-being. So it's all about eating more natural food to increase your well-being. So if you're being told to eliminate salt from your diet, look at the food that you're ingesting. Look at the ingredients list, for one, that will tell you whether it's got salt in it, which I highly recommend it. Probably will. And then look at the nutrition label because that will tell you how much salt. And some of them are quite extreme. They, sometimes you can get, 2 or 3 days worth of salt in eating one product. It's just hideous. And then that's just one thing that you're ingesting. No wonder we have health issues. It's quite common with elderly, because they eat, maybe eat a lot of tin food and so forth. It's a lot easier for them when they get a little bit aged. They have issues with their health in relation to salt because it's in the food. It's very high content of the food that they're consuming. And also, sports drinks have salt in them as well. And we can get into strife, especially young children, when we're giving them sports drinks, copious amounts of them in summer months, thinking that they're doing them well, where a lot of children get hospitalized from having an overdose of those sports drinks. So yes, processed salts are incredibly toxic to our body. More natural salts are not. And if you are told by a medical professional to go easy on the salt, look at every single thing you're pulling out of the pantry to see where you're getting that salt from. And I'd be very surprised if there was one thing that didn't have salt in it. So salt, to end off, I choose Himalayan salt. You don't need a lot of it because it tastes really good. It's got all the minerals in it that I believe we require, and I steer clear of any of the white salts that you can buy from the supermarket. Supermarket tends to have inferior products, and they're getting rid of more and more products that I really enjoy, which is making me shop elsewhere, unfortunately. And just also bear in mind that salt is highly addictive, like sugar, and it is in things that you wouldn't believe it would be in. So check your ingredients list. It will say if salt is in it. It has to actually say salt. It's one of a few ingredients that doesn't have a number. So it will say salt. And then look at the nutrition label to see how many milligrams of salt is actually in that. And then, if you want to go that one step further, ask your practitioner if, how much salt you could be ingesting during the day for a safety number, and then look at your food and see what you're actually taking in. But that's a lot of hard work for me. I just choose to have whole foods, and then I don't have to worry about that. Oh, and butter if I wanted. All righty, that's enough about salt today. I choose Himalayan salt, and my health is spot on. Last lot of blood tests I had, no problem. So next week I'm going to do a diet show, I think. We'll see how we go. Okay, I'll see you next week. Bye.